All right, folks, pages 6 and 7 in the Viewer's Guide for Daughters of Free Men. Lowell, the Factory and the Garden. The most famous early American mills were located in Lowell, Massachusetts. The first Lowell mill was built by Irish laborers in 1822. By 1836, there were 20 major mills employing 7,000 workers, most of them young, single Yankee farm women. Many of them, like Lucy Hall, were only teenagers. Remember, when we see the Lowell mills, there was a mill named the Lowell Mill, but we're talking about textile mills that were in Lowell, Massachusetts, such as the Merrimack Mills. The Lowell mills were the largest and most advanced of their time. With the invention of new weaving machines, all production could be assembled under one roof. That's what made them different. They didn't have to outsource any production. So to poet John Greenleaf Whittier, the impressive factories at Lowell seemed to foretell a coming millennium of steam engines and cotton mills. So again, they thought it was this industrial miracle. Maybe at first it was in that ballpark. The fame of the Lowell mills rested not only on size, but also on claims that they were a new kind of factory, free of the misery of England's industrial cities. English workers entered the mills as children and lived their whole lives as factory workers, a horrifying idea to Republican Yankees who, remember, believed themselves to be independent, who feared that such lifelong dependence would cause individual and social decay. In contrast, the owners of the Lowell mills suggested that young women could work in the mills for a few years and then move on to better lives, thus maintaining their independence and preventing the creation of, quote, dangerous classes. To attract workers, the owners built boarding houses, organized educational programs, and painted a rosy picture of life in Lowell. For example, you see this magazine cover. The Lowell Offering was the magazine that was published by the owners. And it looks like a factory in a garden. All right, moving on. Labor in Lowell. So Lowell women worked as, and this is the different production steps: spinners, warpers, weavers, drawers, and dressers. Men worked as overseers and mechanics with their hands. Mechanic means you work with your hands. Remember, there weren't cars yet. The work was hard, and most workers had difficulty keeping up at first. But with the help of more experienced women, they learned to run spinning throstles, looms, and other complicated machinery. Farm women were accustomed to hard work, but laboring in the large, noisy mills was different from life on the farm. On the farm, women had controlled their own work schedule, and they did many different farm tasks, working at each until it was completed. In the mill, women did one task over and over again. It was quite tedious. They didn't control their work time. The pace and the hours of work were now determined by the factory owners. There's that loss of freedom. In this new context, work was less satisfying, and even time itself took on a different meaning.